I think the most difficult thing for families who have an alcoholic in the family is when they come to the realization that there is no longer anything that they can do for that person. They may have gone to 4, 5, 6, 7 rehabs, and the person really isn't being successful, and they're not pursuing their own health care, their own mental health. They've never really made the 100% commitment, and that can be very straining on families. And there will come a point where, if it's a son or a daughter or a spouse or even a parent, that there's nothing you can do to help that person. We're not talking about abandoning them or no longer even having them in your life. That's not what we're talking about. But we're talking about in your heart, there's nothing that you can do for that person to make them understand that it's time for sobriety ultimately. You can't make that person do anything. And as a family member, there will come a time when you just have to accept that, accept those terms, and realize what you have to do to preserve your own mental health. And again, we're not talking about abandoning the person completely, although that is an option sometimes, not always with a son or a daughter or even with a spouse. But there will come a time where emotionally the relationship has ended, no matter what the relationship. And all relationships end either emotionally or physically when a person dies. And quite often when it comes to alcoholism, the relationship has ended emotionally. You're no longer there. You can no longer partake in the madness that's going on with the alcoholic, and you don't really want to be a part of the mental illness anymore because it's taken you down a journey that's been too exhausting, too horrific, too emotionally taxing to continue the relationship in any way. Now, for those people who understand and who've lived this, it's a very obvious experience. For those who haven't, this may be very confusing and you may not even understand what I'm talking about, and that's okay. I hope you never have to be there. But for the rest of us who have experienced this, it's important to take care of yourself, ultimately, which is the whole point of this particular video. And definitely as family members, we have to take care of ourselves. We don't want to go down with the ship. We don't want to be dragged down, economically, financially, obviously. We don't want to just be the caretaker and just be really so codependent that we've lost ourselves. We just have to be cognizant of our role in the alcoholic's life and ultimately take care of ourselves if the alcoholic is unable to take care of themselves any longer, and there's nothing else that you can do to partake in that success. Now, I'm not saying give up hope. You should never give up hope, but there comes to the point where you've done everything you can, and there's nothing else you can do to help that person. And again, if this type of scenario resonates with you, click on the link above if you really want help with a loved one in your family or dealing with your own emotions as a family member. I've helped thousands of alcoholics, and just as importantly, have helped their families. And again, please like, share, and comment. And again, we have a Facebook group called Amanda, A Cautionary Tale of Alcoholism, which has become a very good support group. We also talk about alcohol issues and everything pertaining to families and alcoholism. And again, thanks for listening.